Hello Year 11 and welcome to our first video here for our sixth topic. It's Chapter 7, Coordinate Geometry, and today we're looking at the lengths and midpoints of intervals. Now an interval is a section of straight line that connects two points, two endpoints. Okay, we're going to calculate the length of that line and also the coordinates of the point that is exactly halfway between the endpoints. Now, the length of an interval is calculated using the distance formula. The distance formula is derived from Pythagoras' theorem, which you might remember in the form c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Now, the distance formula kind of looks a bit like that. We have x1 and y1 as the coordinates for the first point, and x2, y2 as the coordinates for the second point. And because distance we're really only interested in magnitude, not direction. We don't have negative distances. It doesn't matter in this case if we mix x1s and y1s up. Okay, that doesn't make too much of a difference in this case, but for a whole lot of other formulas we're going to use later on, it will. So I'm going to be a bit fussy about which order we put these in. So x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, and then the square root of that. So I think we've probably got an example here. Here we go. We do have an example, and we're asked to calculate the length of this interval. So this is going to be x1, y1, x2, y2. Label them if you must, right? If you get them confused and you put the wrong thing in your formula, just put a little label above them in your question. So here we go. There's our distance formula. You can see there's our x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. I've put the brackets around the negatives. We will be dealing with negatives here a fair bit, and you know that it's an easy way to make a silly mistake. So we evaluate those things. I get 6 squared plus 1 squared. Square root of that is the square root of 37. That's it. It's a third. If I were to evaluate that, it's going to be 6 point something. Not much. Rightio. So that's the distance formula. We calculate the length of an interval using the distance formula. Now the midpoint, right, of an interval is that point, so it has an x and y coordinate. The midpoint of an interval is exactly halfway, right, on that interval, but equidistant from each of the endpoints. And really we calculate this by averaging the x coordinates and averaging the y coordinates. Right? This is really quite simple, and I wouldn't bother to learn a formula. Okay, I add together the x coordinates. 8 and 12 is 20, divided by 2 is 10. 3 and negative 4 is negative 1, divided by 2 is negative half. So you can see here my midpoint is at 10, negative 1/2. Rightio. Distance, midpoint, should largely be familiar territory for us, I hope. If you've got any questions about these though, please jot them down so you don't forget, and I'll see you during one of our conference sessions, I suppose. Okay, good luck. See you then.